well, I'm thinking of Phil Hellmuth when you talk about that. 'Cause all the professional high stakes guys say he's like average or whatever, or like good, but not like the GOAT. You know what I mean?
So the way I always describe Phil is simple, right? And he hates it because he can't. I don't know why he wants me to acknowledge him anymore. I'd say look, he has the best track record in the World Series of Poker history ever. The most bracelets, great ROI. He's done so for years. Now, that doesn't make him the best player, especially now. There was probably a period of time where he was, and was dominant. That's not the day. That's not today. It's like, it's almost a little bit disrespectful to say to these young kids who work off 12, 15 hours a day studying that like you at 60, who are not studying anything are better than them, And the only way to really know, well, there really is no way to know, is you got to play against them in the high stakes events. He doesn't. He shies away from that. He just says he's better than them and he's better than these people, but he doesn't actually play against them to prove it.
Right, because the best people are in the high stakes ones, right?
Basically, yeah. Like, it's a different animal. The World Series of Poker, you get random yahoos, small tournaments, $1,000, $1,500. But then you got this high circuit, which is like Triton Series over in Europe. Right now, the super high roller bowl, 300K buy-ins and stuff like that. He doesn't really, even during the World Series, we have big events, 250K, 100K buy-in. He doesn't play those. He usually just stays in the mid stakes.
Right. If you made the final table of the main event, who would you hire as your coach?
Well, I probably wouldn't specifically hire a coach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, not anymore.
The ones on the edge watching?
I would definitely have people like I would talk to for sure. Like just the group of friends that I already do. Maybe Phil Ivey would be one of them if he's willing, because he's just really good at certain specific. But there's a small group of people I talk poker with. And I would have people just telling me what's been going on, right? More so than say, like, here's what I want you to be doing. I just want to know what they've been doing, and I'll figure it out for myself.
Got it.
But I'll definitely have like a group, I've gone through that route where I hired some young guys to, coach me on how to use these tools. Because it's like, listen, I'm 50 now, and I saw like these solvers. I'm like, I don't even know how to turn the thing on. I was like, so I needed help, But now I feel like I have a decent grasp of all that and use it to my advantage.
Yeah, and this year there was a solver at the final table.
Yeah, that was a mess. That was just like such a mess because... So we call that, what do we call that? Laptop gate? I don't know. I think that's what they're calling it. Like the thing is, the last 10 years, there's always been laptops at the main event because, people are watching the stream and they want to tell the guy, hey, here's what this guy had, this hand or whatever. So they've said quite clearly in the announcements, like, you're not allowed to use any of this stuff in this room, right? So and you're not allowed to use any of this stuff when you play online poker. They're all banned, right? So it was really disheartening to see that it was used and nobody said anything. I think like a lot of people put the onus on the World Series of Poker, but like, how can they like go up to your laptop? Like, it's like if you had it on your phone, I'm like, let me see your phone. You can't. That's like Gestapo type stuff.
Right.
You can't really police it that way. But they broke like Nevada gaming laws. They're very clear. But they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, nothing happened, right?
No, they're not going to do anything about it. Nor do I think anything should. But the response from one of the guys who was like in charge of it was so obnoxious. Everyone in the poker community is like, bro, it's a bad look. This isn't good, And he sort of stuck both fingers up and doubled down and tripled down and kind of made an ass.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was all over, Twitter or X or whatever the hell we call it.
Poker guys love Twitter, I noticed.
Poker guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like the main spot where like discussion happens. Instagram, I find to be, I have an Instagram account. I find the app, frankly, from a usability perspective, I've always thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like the font is small. I can't follow replies. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
And TikTok, I never set one up. So, and Facebook I don't use. So for me, I'm like Twitter exclusive, basically.
I love it.
Or X exclusive.
Yeah, Elon would be mad if you said the T word.
I mean, would he though? Because it's like nobody calls it X, do they?
No, I've never met someone.
No.
It'll always be Twitter to me.
Yeah, it'll always, and I think he's fine with that. Like, I mean, listen, when you go to twitter.com, it still takes you there.
Yeah. So you just turned 50, the big 5-0.
I did.
Any life revelations?
To be honest with you, nothing specific. It was actually just like a day like any other. But what I would describe sort of the last 30, 40 years of my life looks something like in my 20s, I cared what people thought about me. Very much so, right? In my 30s, you don't think you care, but you still do. Then when I got into my 40s, I really give no and I really don't care. Like, this is me. If you like me, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm going to have opinions. And listen, you're not going to agree with all my opinions, and that's totally okay. I might not like some of yours, but that doesn't stop me from saying we could have a beer or me look at you and say you're a bad person. Right. We live in a society now, I think, where people are so quick to judge someone. It's like, oh, look what he said in 1997 about these types of people. right? It's like under a different barometer. Like I use the R word.
Right.
Like, okay, who cares, right? Is that even like the R word? I don't know. You know what that is?
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I used to say it growing up.
The word has a function. You know, the word retarded has a function. Okay, you know. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I used to commonly say it growing up.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, if you watch TV, you watch Californication, for example, which has been off the air for maybe 6-7 years. That's like very commonly thrown around. So it's all recent. You know, the sort of like demonization of specific words evolves over time, and that one's sort of like that one and the other. There's another one too that I definitely won't say.
G word? G-A-Y?
No, it starts with an F.
F. Oh, yeah. F.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Because like
Three
there's
letters.
so there's a South Park episode about that. How the F word is not actually used for the prominently for people that you would think the F word is for. It's for people that are just jerks or
Yeah,
the ones
that's
that,
how I used to use it.
yeah, they're like, you cut me off in the street and be like, what up? You know,
Yeah.
but it was never meant in that way. But I can understand why that word specifically is charged for people that are from that community.
Right. I will say, because I've been following your career for probably 10 years now, you are a lot more outspoken, especially on politics recently. I noticed you're tweeting a lot about politics.
I always have, like, frankly, you know, I've always sort of never been shy to share my opinions on things and like common sense. And I think it's funny because I think a lot of people are like, oh, look how much you've changed. Your position's changed. I'm like, actually, no. What position have I changed on in the last 10 years? What happened was both extremes, as far as I'm concerned, went absolutely bonkers. Like I don't identify. Like I've always been like a, you know, center left liberal with common sense ideas. Okay, let's make sure people have health care. You know, gay people want to get married, go for it. You want abortion, do your thing. You know, it used to be quite basic. Rich people got to pay taxes, whatever. All the new stuff that's sort of like the far progressive left has adopted is like being really important is in a lot of ways absolutely insane and crazy. So I feel like more and more like by default they've pushed me to the right where I didn't even move. It's like that meme you've seen Elon where he's like he's here and then you know the line moves over this way. You know
that's what happened to me too.
Yeah,
I grew up Democrat.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I literally became a citizen so that I could vote against Donald Trump.
Wow.
That's like literally the reason.
That was your
right?
main reason?
That was my key. Like that was one of the main reasons. I wanted to be able to vote and contribute and have an opinion. That was one of the key reasons. And like fast forward now and they throw Kamala at me, right? And you're literally saying like, what the hell? It's going to come full circle. Am I really going the other way? And again, it's about priorities and what you prioritize.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of either choice. I'm really disappointed, frankly, in the idea that sort of Democrats decided we have to like save democracy by doing the most undemocratic thing possible, which is to anoint someone who won 0 delegates, got 0 votes, who weeks before the election, everyone was talking about replacing her because she's the most unpopular VP, to all of a sudden gaslighting us into going, rah, rah, she's the best, she's amazing. I'm like, what the hell? Just because Meg Stallion was shaking at a concert, now we're supposed to be like all gung-ho. It's kind of a bizarre like flip in such a short period of time.
Pretty wild. So are you even going to vote this year?
Well, I'm not voting. I can say that I was considering RFK. He's no longer an option.
Out, right?
Yeah. So I'm still like an undecided, but one thing I've decided is I cannot, listen, a lot of Kamala's policies that she just recently released, she wouldn't get anything passed. It's literally like the 6th grade kid who was running for class president saying, I want to give you free cake. Everyone gets lollipops and pizza for lunch, breakfast, and dessert, and everyone's going to get $1,000 to spend on toys.
Yeah.
Right? It's all baloney, but it's pandering to people who don't know any better. Like a lot of the things she's supposedly, trying to implement. But some of them I find just frankly scary that she would even consider going down this route of like, equity versus equality. The idea that you want everyone to end up in the same place. Do you know what that is? My parents grew up in communist Romania. Everyone's in the same place with bread lines because there's no food on the shelves and everyone gets to the same place. And she said this multiple times that, the difference between equality, she doesn't believe in equality of opportunity. She believes in equality of outcome. So no matter how hard you work, everyone ends up in the same place. And I don't like that, obviously. That seems...
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.